All right. Uh, I've got to make this video response because I don't have enough room in a text box, a comment box. Dalwheel1 posted a comment on the previous video, and it's very valid points. It really is. The only thing is, it isn't going to happen that way for multiple factors, and I'll explain that. That's why I have to do this format rather than just commenting back to you. Uh, One, I can't do it. I'm all the way up here in the state of Maine, the other opposite part of the country from down south, and I'm in an electric wheelchair because I can't even use forearm crutches right now. I can't wear a prosthetic leg because my muscles in my body won't allow it. They've shortened up due to hopping around, which I can't do anymore either, or they're going to have to fuse my foot solid, the bones in it. But yes, I would have done that when it first happened if I'd been in the region and had a vessel. I'd have been out there. I wouldn't have cared if I'd had to sell my house to do it. I would have had fuel in that boat, that ship. Excuse me. No, I wasn't in the Navy. I was in the Marines. Uh, Now, though, it's become hazardous to be in the region from the evaporating fumes, as well as the benzene. It's just like if it's what kids do. They huff gas sometimes, and it kills your brain cells. They don't they don't come back. But that's for the people in that who are able to do it. It's their decision. Like I said, myself, I would have done it at the very first sign of trouble because I'm protecting my best interest. I'm protecting the resource where my livelihood comes from. And more importantly, I'm protecting it for future generations to be able to live and sustain themselves as well. Now, to the oil refineries, we actually have a shortage of refineries in this country. And they won't invest anymore to develop any new ones. And aside from the lack of having enough refineries to process this sweet crude, uh, which is highly valuable to these people, the only other known source that I know of is in Nigeria, and China's got a pretty much that sewn up. So that's why they're so blatantly irresponsible and reckless and endangering the welfare of the whole planet because they want this sweet crude. It's lighter. And in the videos that I've got on my page in my favorites now, you can see the grandson of Jacques Cousteau and a guy from ABC News actually go under there, and you can see what the dispersant chemicals are doing. They're not dispersing it. The only we have the same mass, amount of mass or volume. It's just broken up into tinier pieces, making it even more difficult. Myself, I'd rather have a suction pump and go for a glob than I would for little tiny drops. Uh, Everybody that's ever seen a fish knows they ingest the water and out through their gills. So now, if they get it coated with oil, they're not going to be able to get oxygen out of the water. Uh, and I really think that should have been looked at a long time ago for the separations of oxygen and hydrogen, H2O. And we're looking at alternatives for clean energy. Well, why not model the extractor after a fish's gill? How do they do it? But then the other major issue is going to be, say people did go out there and they had respirators that they could wear, or they have contained oxygen supplies. I would recommend, if anything like that did happen, some of these dive shops to get together and put a station together on a floating platform so they can recharge people's tanks. Because then we get into the issue, what's BP going to do? If all of a sudden all these people show up and they're collecting this oil, is BP going to come down and say, oh no, we're going to file charges against you because you're stealing our oil, which is actually the American people's oil, because it's within territorial waters. Just like the airwaves, all the frequencies, all the ranges were given, well actually they weren't given, they were given and or sold to private corporations. So corporate America is being true to its nature of being a corporation. The first law of any corporation is profits before any and all other laws. So greed, mammon, people are following here. But those are good points. Very good points, W. Thank you for your comment. I really appreciate it. It's good to have people thinking on this issue. It really is. We need all the thought we can get. And even if it's, I see that it, in my opinion, based upon statistics, I'm not going to bash anybody. I thank you for your contribution. I really do. I don't know why you thought that I would think you're being a smartass. Far from it. It was a valuable contribution. I just don't know what any private individual could do without resources right now, such as breathing apparatus. I really do believe Louisiana should go ahead and set their sand berms up, because under the original Constitution, the states have the powers to do what the federal government won't. But as I point out in my videos, and I would appreciate it if people would download this, Senate Report 93-549. The Senate clearly states the status of the Constitution. In other words, it's suspended. It's null and void. That's how they're getting away with all this crap. And further proof that it is suspended, how about the fact that presidents are writing executive orders? That's unconstitutional. Nowhere in the Constitution does it grant anybody that kind of authority. So it's usurpation of powers that were not given by the people, nor. And now I just don't know where we're headed. You know, there's a lot of good people in this country, and not everybody's brain dead. I don't know if we're a minority or not. I kind of think we are. But even one individual can make a difference. So let's hope, because there are so many people on YouTube trying to make a difference, maybe we can. Even mainstream media now is recognizing that a lot of the conspiracy issues we talk about are actually true. They're based on fact. So the word is getting out there. Is the timeliness of it is what's crucial now. And I really think, again, I got to go back to the other video I made a little while ago. I've got to see about the structure of the seafloor and the substructure underneath it, because prior to the blow, and I really believe it was pressure, I don't think it was man-made explosives, because I'm looking at the crater and debris field patterns. No, it's not a man-made device that did that. So I wouldn't recommend an explosion anyway, because I think the underneath the sediment, we've got fractures, fissures. So what ideally a person would want to do, I don't know if they've got the equipment to do this. I know that there are lasers powerful enough to do this.